Hey, what's happening, guys? Welcome back. This is going to be a quick recap video of the Joaquin Buckley versus Kamaru Usman fight. Just went down. Kamaru Usman overall dominant, defeating Buckley by unanimous decision. It was cool to see Kamaru get a W after being out for 2 years. I actually had Buckley edging this one, 60-40, but Usman pulled it off. Let's get into it. All right, so first let's start with Buckley. I gotta say, watching the fight, I feel like his coaching staff kind of did him a disservice. I wasn't hearing good direction and coaching in between rounds. The number one thing I wanted his coaches to tell him was to keep the fight in the center. The whole fight, I'm like, look, if Buckley keeps it in the center, it's way harder to take somebody down in the center of the cage. You can scramble, you can get your hips out better, you can circle. Every time Buckley got against that cage and Usman herded him towards the cage, he was vulnerable for the takedown. Usman jammed him up, used the cage as leverage, kept him in that corner, neutralized his legs, his hips, and just kept chipping away at Buckley. And it was wash, rinse, repeat pretty much through rounds 1 through 4. Buckley had his moments, and on the feet, Kamaru Usman definitely looked vulnerable. I mean, he landed shots, but you can see who had the advantage on the feet, who was more dangerous. It was Buckley. And what happens in the 5th round? Buckley keeps it in the center, circles, has way more success stuffing takedowns. He was landing shots on Usman, at points stumbling him, had Usman having to recover a couple of times there, but to Kamaru's credit, weathered the storm, did what he does, and he got the W. I think it was a little bit of ring rust with Kamaru. I mean, he looked hesitant on the feet, a little bit slower to me, and I never liked Usman's jab. It's like this lazy rolling jab where like he throws it out and then like his fist rolls down, exposing his jaw, instead of the jab going straight out and coming back in to protect the face. But hey, who am I to argue with a world champ, a legend like Kamaru Usman? So great job by Usman being able to herd Buckley against the cage, set him up, corner him, score those takedowns. Buckley had no answer. He didn't know how to get up off the mat. You know, one thing that would have helped him is to like maintain height. He allowed Usman to neutralize his legs, pull his hips out, which gave Usman height and leverage, used his shoulder, used his head, and just crushed him in the corner, man. He just held him down and just beat him up. When you're against the cage like that, it's imperative that you maintain the height over the opponent trying to take you down. Couldn't do it. And the best thing he could have did again was keep the fight in the center. I think Buckley was so focused on the knockout and in striking that like his cage awareness like went out the window. He allowed himself to be herded, you know, closer to the cage. And that pretty much was like his downfall. And of course not, you know, being able to get up off the mat against the cage once he was down. But on the feet, I mean, Buckley was super dangerous. I feel like he should have went for it in the last 30 seconds. What do you have to lose? I think he kind of just like accepted losing at that point. But I tell you what, if Buckley works on his takedown defense, if he works on getting back up, a style similar to like Chuck Liddell, you don't have to be a wrestling master or a grappling master. You just have to be really good defensively, keeping the fight where you're good at. And Chuck Liddell, I mean, Chuck had a collegiate wrestling background. He was a solid wrestler, but Chuck didn't overcomplicate things. He just had solid takedown defense, and he didn't accept the takedown, pop right back up. If Buckley learns that, he's going to be a bigger problem. As far as Kamaru Usman being 38 years old, looks like he still has more in the tank. Not quite sure how he's going to fare against Islam. I think that fight's more winnable for him than Dricus, because he wanted to fight Islam for the belt, and he mentioned fighting Dricus. I think Dricus is a tough one, but we'll see how things play out. Props to the Nigerian Nightmare. Kamaru Usman got it done. Cool to see. Joaquin Buckley, props to him. Very humble in defeat, and I think he's going to come back better and more dangerous as long as he works on that wrestling, that takedown defense, and being able to pop back up. If he does that, he could win a belt one day, because he's like a strike away from winning any fight. But guys, let me know in the comment section what you thought about the fight, what you thought Kamaru did well, what you thought he did wrong. Same with Buckley. What do you think about future fights with Usman and Buckley? Where do these guys go from here? Appreciate you watching or listening to the segment. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, stay safe, my friends. Stay blessed. Later.